And now for our next news special report.
The political landscape seems to be shifting beneath our feet. Donald Trump Jr.'s recent appearance in Addison, Illinois isn't just a footnote, it's indicative of broader changes. Trump is making headway in pivotal states and resonating with the youth, while Biden's approval wavers. But what does this mean for our republic? It's not just about dissecting polls or unpacking media biases. As we dive deeper tonight, we'll unravel the threads of these events, the narratives they're shaping, and the implications for our nation's future. The story unfolds piece by piece, and you don't want to miss our concluding analysis. It promises clarity and a perspective that every American should consider. So stay with us because there is much to uncover. Now, before we dive deeper into this intriguing development, here's a message that every American should heed. Patriots, if you have a product or service that needs to resonate with the spirit of America, is it akin to the resilience and determination that's seen in our political battlegrounds? Well, your time is now. Display it proudly to millions globally by aligning with the Next News Network. Let's champion the effort to restore our republic together. Stand with us, the core of this mission. Make an impact and visit sponsораpatriot.com. Now back to the battleground that's unfolding before our very eyes. The political horizon of America is stirring. Former President Donald Trump is edging ahead of President Joe Biden in recent national and swing state polls. Swing states like Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, which often serve as indicators of the national mood, are now leaning towards Trump, who leads anywhere from 2 to 5 points nationally. Several analysts and pollsters, including Nathan Klein from On Message Incorporated, have taken notice. And in a recent event in Addison, Illinois, Donald Trump Jr. was promoting his book, Letters from Trump, and gave a compelling speech. The atmosphere was electric, and as the speech concluded, a press gaggle quickly formed. While many had hoped for an answer to the burning question of whether Trump Jr. would run for office in 2028 following his father's potential second term, the reporters present seemed more focused on discrediting his visit. The bias was evident, with one reporter even suggesting Trump Jr. was wasting his time in Illinois, a state his father had lost twice. Well, Trump Jr., however, confidently defended his reasons for visiting the state, emphasizing the significance of congressional and governor's races and addressing the media's skewed narrative about his father's influence on the party. The exchange highlighted Trump Jr.'s ability to handle biased questions with poise, turning the narrative back on the reporters. Watch.
How's it going, guys?
Good, how are you?
Doing great, thank you.
So why here, why now?
Listen, I think it's important to get the message out to everyone, not just red state, blue state. I mean, I think America is in a very perilous state right now, both economically, foreign policy-wise. We're on the brink of war, the economy's collapsing, inflation's going through the roof, and people are going to get really hurt. It's about having people understand that, and you have to preach that message to everyone, not just places where it's a, let's call it more favorable audience in terms of conservative versus liberal.
Yeah, but what's in it for Team Trump in a state where he's lost twice by 17 percentage points? It's not a winnable state.
Well, that's not necessarily true, but it also matters because you have congressional seats that you can make a difference in. People start understanding that message. It's not just about us. You have Senate seats, you have congressional races, places that still effectuate real change. And so it's not just trying to pick the states that you can win, it's also picking the places where you can make a difference and perhaps move a needle in the congressional count. And so all of that matters. It matters in governor's races. It matters, we've seen the difference between leftist leadership in governor's races and in those states, and that matters. So we're not just about playing to the home team. We got to play on all sides.
But there are some who would say that a lot of the Republican areas out here went Democratic, but turned purple because of Donald Trump, and he was a drag on the party.
Well, I think that's probably a creation of the media. I think when people understand what's going on right now, they watch what's going on. Trump kept us out of wars. There's a reason Russia never invaded one of their neighbors under Trump. And you watch what's going on. I mean, we're literally just collapsing. We're sending more troops to the Middle East because, we haven't been in a war over there in about 9 months. It never ends. The insanity of the liberal policies as it relates to our economy and the inflation that's coming out of it and interest rates going through the roof. I mean, America's going to be in a really, really rough spot, and they understand that Joe Biden's not the guy that's going to fix those problems. The guy can't even get off the stage properly, as we've seen dozens of times.
The fact that 5 of the 6 collard counties, which used to be the rock rib of Republicanism here in Illinois, voted against your father, and it's immediate creation.
Yeah, it is. When you talk about what was used by the media to influence people's decision making, right? We were told for 5 years that he was an agent of Russia. that's clearly a lie. We all know that now. There's no mea culpa, and that's the problem with what goes on between media, big tech. They come up with their narrative, they drive it. When they're proven that they're incorrect, it doesn't matter, they just move on. There's no fixing it. They get the win that they want from their narrative, and they keep going. I think people are waking up to that. You've probably heard it in my speech. If a guy like me, son of a billionaire from New York City, goes to the grocery store with his kids and has sticker shock, that's crushing regular Americans. So I have a feeling they understand that Trump was the guy that actually built an economy, that created jobs, that did all these things. That doesn't mean that the media lens is ever going to be fair or honest about it, but I think they understand just how corrupted that system is.
Can you clarify what you said about women in the military?
The narrative today is that banker matters.
And there you have it. Nathan Klein from On Message Incorporated later commented on the shifting political dynamics. There certainly has been a trend towards President Trump in the polls. He believes this shift began around the end of September, possibly relating to the perceived leadership lapses from Biden, especially during critical moments like the Israel crisis. Diving into specifics, Trump's lead in Michigan stands at 7 points as per a recent marketing resource group poll. Pennsylvania has Trump leading by 9 points, and Wisconsin shows Trump ahead by 2%. Interestingly, a survey from the Biden-supporting PAC Unite the Country suggests an even race at 50% each in Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Trump's slight lead over Biden among voters with negative views of both candidates indicates the current polarized atmosphere. It's worth noting Trump clinched victory in these battleground states in 2016 against Hillary Clinton, only to concede them to Biden in 2020. But a Bloomberg News Morning Consult survey highlights Trump's newfound momentum. He's ahead in all the swing states, bar Michigan and Nevada. Robert Colley from Trafalgar Group sees this trend as a reflection of the American sentiment souring on Biden, especially given the Hamas attacks on Israel and the persistent economic challenges faced by the average American. He asserts it's been a growing trend. Now, Trump isn't just leading Biden, he's also gaining traction among the youth. An Emerson College poll showed Trump ahead of Biden by 2 points among 18 to 29-year-olds and 11 points among 30 to 39-year-old voters. However, Kyle Kondik, a nonpartisan polling analyst, advises caution. He says while polls may seem favorable for Trump now, the actual election scenario could be different. He pinpoints the country's division and suggests we should anticipate a close contest. John McHenry echoes this sentiment, focusing on voters' current dissatisfaction. He believes economic concerns are driving swing states towards Trump, yet he too warns that it's premature to see this as a 2024 forecast. But where does this leave the primary race? Well, Real Clear Politics suggests that Trump and Biden are solidly leading their parties by 47 points and 61 points, respectively. While some polls point this potential general election matchup as dead even, others show Biden marginally ahead. Biden is reportedly tied with Trump in Michigan at 41% and has a 1-point lead in Pennsylvania. However, the most telling figure might come from within Biden's camp. A recent Gallup poll revealed a dip in the Democrats' approval of Biden by 11 points, hitting an all-time low during his tenure. This decline is attributed to internal disagreements within the Democrat Party and Biden's stance on Israel following the tragic Hamas terror attack. His overall approval also suffered, sliding from 41% to 37% within a month. Independents' approval dropped by 4%, and Republican approval remained consistently low. Meanwhile, a recent NBC poll showed more than half of Democrat voters want somebody other than Biden on the Democrat ticket in next year's election. Watch.
One big area, no surprise, it is the economy. Look at this contrast. This is April of 21, months after Biden took office. Nearly half the country was satisfied with where the economy was. Then, now, barely 1 in 4 Americans satisfied with the economy. There's also this. We found an enthusiasm gap between the two parties. We asked folks on a scale of 1 to 10, how enthusiastic are you about the presidential election? And you can see Republican to Democrat, there is a gap right there. Where's the lag for Democrats? We found a couple places. Non-white voters, you could see significantly less enthusiastic than white voters. And then how about this age gap? The youngest group of voters who Democrats have been trying to get excited and motivated, a nearly 50-point gap there.
So really an uphill battle to try to make sure voters don't stay home if you're Democrats.
Yeah, that's it. And the problem for Democrats, too, the lack of enthusiasm about the election there's clearly a lack of enthusiasm about the president himself, because we asked primary voters on the Democratic side, do you want options next year besides Biden? 59% said yes, they do. This is not a normal number for an incumbent. We asked the same question a year before Donald Trump sought re-election of Republicans. Only 37% wanted more choices then. That's a very high number.
Yeah, this is like the inverse of each other, these two numbers.
Exactly. And so it raises the question, too, what else concerns Democrats? And I think this gets to sort of the elephant in the room here. Biden's age and fitness. I mean, look at this contrast. We have talked so much about Donald Trump, the indictments, the legal woes. They are clearly a major or moderate concern to the majority of Americans. But Biden's age and fitness for office, almost 3 out of 4 in our poll. This is Democrats, Republicans, independents say it's a major or moderate concern for them. How about Trump? He's only a few years younger than Biden. A full 27-point gap right there. This is looming as a major problem for the president, too.
So, America, here's why this matters. Our republic stands at a crossroads. These numbers, more than just digits, reflect our nation's pulse. They indicate unrest, a yearning for change, or at least something different than the current trajectory. As 2024 looms, it's not just about Trump or Biden, it's about our republic's future direction. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and most importantly, let your voice be heard. Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.